Greetings and salutations. I hope everybody is having themselves a mighty fine day. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell, share it, comment, do all the YouTube things for your boy. And let's dive into a sign of affection. But actually, before we really do that, I do have a little bit of preamble and a couple of things I do want to say first before we kind of hop into the crux of this discussion and conversation. If you don't know this about me, you know this now. A lot of my favorite series are romance type series. They might have a little bit of a different premise and concept into how the romance and love starts, but I love love. I love romance, and especially if a story is more of an action adventure with a large romantic element, I'm going to be very intrigued. The caveat tends to be, though, because I'm grown and I've been grown for a while. As of this video, I am 31 years old. I need sex in that bitch. Okay? If she is not riding him and taking his soul, or he's not bending her back over and breaking her back, I'm really not trying to see it, because I can't do the, oh my god, whatever couldn't, so kawaii ne, we had an indirect kiss, we shared the same straw. Like, if you don't get that the F out my face and get into some adult romance, I'm not really involved. So that being said, I haven't read a lot of romance in a really long time, from what I can remember, especially manga. And like a lot of my favorites would be something like Nanato Kawaru. I really like Sundome, Hetakoi, Ibitsu, Chikai no Toko, things in that realm, things in that sphere. Like, those are kind of some of my favorites. I'll kind of have something here just so you can kind of see real quick. If you guys have followed me in doing my top 30 anime and manga list for a long time, you would know that. And if you know one thing about me, like, something I tend to highlight a lot in my favorite series is my favorite romantic couple, Zuko and Mai from like Avatar. I want you to think actually even Meliodas and like Elaine, or Ban and no, it was Meliodas and Elizabeth, Ban and Elaine, like in the Natsu no Taizai. I've always called the Natsu no Taizai a love story disguised as a battle shonen. You would not agree with that. You can watch that video. I have it on my channel still, I'm pretty sure, if you agree with that sentiment. But I'm a person who really enjoys seeing, romantic elements in my story, especially if it's like a fantasy or adventure and it's like the main thing isn't romance, but there's a huge romantic kind of subplot to it. So, A Sign of Affection, I've watched 2 episodes and I've caught up to the manga. It is ongoing. It has about, I want to say 44 to 46 chapters as of today. I don't know if maybe in Japan it's further, just nobody has translated or scanned it any further than that, but I thoroughly enjoyed my read. It is a good manga so far. The general premise and the kind of concept of the manga and the anime, which is super dope to me, is there is a girl, she's blind. Not blind, what's crazy? Let's try again. Take 2. Action. There's a girl and she can't hear. She's deaf, so she uses sign language and like reads lips, and so she lives in a silent world. And basically meets somebody who, their world is bigger. He travels a lot. He can speak multiple languages. He's trying to learn multiple languages. And he takes an interest in her because she's different despite her disability, which is auditory related. And she starts to take an interest in him because I'm pretty sure in her life, no one's ever really been interested in her in that sense. On top of the fact that even if you really care about somebody, if there's like a huge disability that they have, you might not always be able to handle something like that. So it's basically a world of like disability and silence, and not really, having the accessibility of the world at your fingertips. This dude's in Germany, from Germany or whatever, like half German. I'll get into the name soon. Sorry, I know I'm keeping it vague for the time being. I will be spoiling stuff, by the way. So like, if you're not caught up and you care, click out. I probably should have started with that. And he travels a lot. Again, like I said, he's multilinguistic. He can speak multiple languages, and his world is big. And their worlds collide, and we're just going to see how it all shapes up. They are together as of what's happening in the story. Like, officially, they're a boyfriend and girlfriend, which I didn't expect. I thought maybe they'd kind of daddle and kind of, drag their feet before they get there. But credit to A Sign of Affection, they didn't waste too much time getting to the crux of that. Kind of reminds me of Monogatari, spoiler for that real quick, how Hitagi claimed her man immediately. Like, I'm not trying to do this more than love, not more than friends, not quite lovers. Like, I want you, I like you, what do you say? It's a yes or a no. And I respected her so much for that, because Hanekawa was a character who could have had him from time and she didn't do anything, which will actually come full circle here. But let's talk about why it resonated with me so much, and it kind of broke me. So I'm gonna speak a little personally. I'm gonna keep it vague because you don't need to know the characters and the things going on in my life. However, I'll be honest with you right now. My romantic life is like probably one of the only aspects of my life currently that's not going well. What do I mean by that? I'm in great physical condition. While the economy is garbage and inflation is through the roof, I'm making good money. I'm doing my thing. I'm making more and more money every year. I've been looking for places to buy. I'm very excited to kind of move out and be on my own again. I haven't really been on my own like that since college. And, I'm like, again, great. I'm in great shape. I'm in good health, all of those things. So all of that stuff really matters to me. But when it comes to the romantic part, not so great. Now, here's one thing about me. And I'm not trying to like toot my horn or anything of the sort. I've never had trouble with women. I don't. I still don't. I'm not saying I'm Mr. Bitches. I walk into a spot and everyone is flocking to me. Not Rico Suave. That's not the point that I'm trying to make at all under any circumstances. But if there was a sliding scale from 100 means you could pull whoever you want and 0, you are repellent to women, I'm probably in that 70 range. Like, I do okay. The thing that I've struggled with throughout my life for the most part has always been actual official relationships. I'm a situationship merchant. I'm a roster merchant. And the older I got, the more empty that made me feel. And more often than not, when I'm acting on those, I'm going to call them my primal instincts, my primal desires, my most base level wants. It's because I'm acting out in a sense. It's usually because the woman that I care about the most or actually like, for one reason or not, we're not together. Whether it's a breakup, whether it's she likes somebody else, whether she's in a relationship, and I'm trying to fill that void with multiple women. I'm trying to fill the void of one woman that I really want or was with multiple, and it never really works. I just start to feel more and more empty, and I really need to stop this self-destructive habit. Deep breath. Man, this story resonated with me on so many levels because there were so many things that I kind of parallel to what I'm going on with. So let's start with the main character, Nagi Itsuomi, right? This is the guy who travels and everything. Again, like nice white hair, good-looking dude. Like the super like kind of Asian Eastern pretty boy you'd see in like a K-pop band or J-pop band or something. Very good-looking dude. I have so much overlap with him in a way that is kind of crazy. I'm somebody who can accept somebody who maybe couldn't walk well, or, maybe she has alopecia, or she can't, see properly. Like, I'd be okay with that. Like, if our souls connect and we resonate with one another, it is what it is, right? I love very infrequently, but I love hard. I could see myself doing that. He also marches to the beat of his own drum. I've always been that way. To a fault even, where it's just like, I just do not care what other people are doing. Nia Hemmings does what he does. I'm a lone wolf in that sense. He also plays a lot of favorites. And this is something that I don't think makes you a bad person necessarily, where like parents, you have a favorite kid. Teachers, you have your favorite students. If you're a person, a man or a woman or whatever, and you have like a roster of 3 niggas or a couple of dudes, or girl, or your dude with a couple of girls, you know which one is your favorite. You have a main one. Like, that's just like, let's cut the ish, right? It is what it is. And you have favorite people and favorite friends and best friends. That's how life is. That's okay. He plays to that. What I noticed, one thing about him is the people in my life who mean the absolute most to me are exception to rules that I apply to most people. I'll give you an example, right? I actually tend to be very dry, curt, blunt, and to the point if I'm not interested in you sexually, romantically, or whatever the case is. So a girl could be hitting on me, or we could be whatever, but like, no, I'm good. Like, and like, I can come across as mean, but I'm just being honest and blunt, and I'm not trying to toe the line where you think, oh, there's a chance I can mingle my way in there. Like, no, you are in the friend zone. Stay over there. This is a platonic relationship. You get what I'm saying? He's very much like that. Yuki Itose is the girl that is the main like lead feminine hero, the heroine. She gets to see the side of Itsuomi that no one really gets to see, where he's red, the tone of his voice changes when he addresses her and speaks to her, the way that he thinks about her, how soft and kind he is when he caresses her, something like that. And I'm like that when I really care about you, especially if I love you. Like, what do they call it, the five love languages, like. And there's a misconception about physical touch, by the way. If you're a physical touch person, physical touch doesn't mean I just want to have sex all the time. Like, yes, I'm young. Yes, I'm in great shape. My libido and sex drive is really high, but that's just because I'm healthy, right? That's just, it is what it is. I'm a red-blooded male. I don't apologize for that. However, physical touch is more about emotionally connecting by holding hands, cuddling, hugs from the back, hugs from the front, little, smooches on the forehead or the hand, or just like something I like to do sometimes is like write like I love you, or I write your name while we're lying down or something. Shoot, bum massages, all of those things, even if it's a little bit erotic, but like it's not about that. That matters to me, right? So I could see that with him when he's with her, like he just treats her. He puts her on a. I don't have to put her on a pedestal because you shouldn't really pedestalize and look up at somebody like that. But he treats her well. You know what I'm saying? And then the thing about it that's even more interesting, because his friends noticed this the same way when I was getting into my latest relationship, which was about 2 years ago or whatever. When I was getting into it, my friends would kind of notice like, yo, you haven't been around this much. You be sneaking away to your phone. You be like, why you skidding teeth? That's a way like we'll say like, why you smiling? Like I'm there. I'm like, I'm looking down. I'm cheesing. They're like, bro, are you skidding teeth over there, bro? Who you talking to? What's going on, G? Like that's how it was. And I really like to see that the people who knew him well could see that this was different for him. Like this is not something or a side of him that they see or saw often. So you knew that the girl that he liked, Yuki meaning snow. I don't know what her last name or whatever means, but Yuki meaning snow. So that stuff was really cool. The story for the most part starts off with them meeting on a train where he's trying to like talk to her, but she can't hear him. So she's trying to read his lips and he's not really getting it, and he takes an interest, and then that interest starts to grow. She has her friend group. Her best friend is kind of trash. Her name is Rin. Fujishiro. I actually have the name up right now. Fujishiro. Because, like, if my best friend is deaf, I'm learning sign language. I'm throwing up jutsu, bro. I'm throwing them up. I'm throwing up gang signs. Absolutely. If you're my best friend, I'm learning sign language. This dude met her and immediately was like, I'm going to learn sign language. Can you teach me? So I can communicate with you better, so I can understand you better, so I can understand your world better, what you come from, the things you have to deal with. I'm going to be there by your side as you and I go through these things, but especially you, I want to be there to help. Very beautiful stuff, man. Very beautiful stuff. But she's trash. Your family's kind of trash to me too. I feel like there's something going on because the older brother that Yuki has, he had some kind of type of bad breakup or something. So I'm not sure if there's a reason behind it. So there could be some family darkness that relates to why it didn't happen. But like, a question to the audience, if you got this far: if you had a child that was deaf and communicated with sign language, would you not learn it, or at least get some basics? You could just be like, I don't know, hi, hit you with the, welcome home, Taimaida, like, what are we doing? That's so backwards to me. Like, come on, bro. So, there was that. Now, there is the childhood friend trope. His name is Oishi Ashioki. He's making me sad because currently I feel like me and him are in a similar position to how we feel. Now, he's definitely weird, but the weird about how he goes about, he acts like when they say like when a girl likes a boy or a boy likes a girl when they're young, they're mean to them. He's like that with Yuki. So he took an interest in her and tried to protect her from some bullies and stuff like that. And one of the first things he did was kind of try to learn sign language from his older sister that she never kept up with. And the first thing he told her was idiot. Like, now, mind you, I will do some shit like that. That's something I would do. I would immediately follow it up with like, yeah, I've been learning so I could communicate with better. You can whatever. But there's a lot of guys, for one reason or another, this is not an excuse. This is an explanation. They don't know how to communicate their feelings. That is extremely difficult for me to do, because I personally find on most occasions when I've attempted to communicate my feelings with somebody, whether that's my mother, a teacher, or a parental figure, whether it is a woman that I'm romantically with or my girlfriend, whatever the case may be, I feel like I always get punished for it. Like I'm not like, or I'm being told why I'm not supposed to be feeling that way, instead of just listen, hear me, feel me, and understand where I'm coming from, or at least attempt to, right? No, that doesn't happen. It's, well, this and that and blah, blah, yada, yada, yada. And then it's kind of like, why did I even bring it up? So he comes across as somebody, he does not know how to communicate his feelings. He's not trained properly under any circumstance to be able to do that. So that's why it comes out so badly, so poorly. But I can see through it. And when he said, man, I've had countless opportunities, meaning that he's messed up on numerous occasions, and she's with somebody else, I really felt that. That is a pain that every man, and you know what? No, I'm not gonna, that's not a gender thing. Like anyone, like you really, really care about somebody and you have to see them with somebody else. That hurts. It hurts. It's not easy to go through. And he's kind of down bad right now because now he's trying to find a way to smeagol his way in there when she's with somebody, like officially. It's one thing if like they were just knocking boots. No, like they're boyfriend and girlfriend. And that's tough, Oishi. That's tough. But sometimes as a man, you have to stand on business. In my last relationship, I never wanted to break it up. But based on what happened, I had no choice. I don't like to reward behavior that I don't think is respectful or bad. So I had to do what I had to do. Again, I'm not going to get into that. But he never even kind of made a real attempt. And I know he's kicking himself. You ever heard the song by Lupe? Like, I regret the words I never said. That hurts more than being rejected. He never even really tried. And now she's gone. So we'll see how that all shapes out. But it's really, really, really good stuff. I've enjoyed it thoroughly. I really like how Yuki and Itsuomi, I like the effect they have on each other. I think when you get into a relationship, that really means something. Both people want to be better for the other person, but also for yourself. Because ultimately, it'll pay off for yourself. I spent a long time being unmotivated unless there was romance involved. By the standpoint, by which I mean this. When I was younger, like teens, like preteens, teens, maybe really early 20s. But around my early 20s is when I became extremely emotionally closed off and I was extremely emotionally unintelligent. I was not there. I did not feel. I was apathetic. I did not care about anything. I was in my I don't give a fuck phase. I really didn't care about anything. And that's not, you don't want to be there. You don't ever want to be that level of a cynic, that level of disengaged with the world. It's not a good thing. And I saw how it started to affect the people around me who did care about me. You know what I'm saying? For a long time, I've always felt Nia Hemmings is at his best when he's in a relationship because he always wants to be better for his girlfriend. I'm not a person who gets into relationships for fun because it's winter time and I need access to one coochie for a little bit, whatever. Like some people have weird, like it's summer. It's, I'm not in summer. It's winter. I'm gonna cuddle up with a big dude, and then in summertime it's hot girl summer or city boy summer or whatever it is. I don't fucking know what you kids be doing. I'm tired of y'all, but you get what I'm saying though. With me, it's like I needed to be in a relationship for Naya to be the best possible version of himself, because I get into a relationship because for whatever reason or not, whether I was 13 to now, and I couldn't really discern these things as well as I can today, but I plan to turn you to my girlfriend, to my fiance, to my wife. That is the only reason I will ever get into a real relationship with you, is if I can see you eventually becoming my fiance and eventually my wife. That's it. There's no other reason. Not because I'm bored, I don't feel like home wrecking, I don't do that type of nonsense. That's just not who I am. I can't speak for other people. I'm not telling you how to live your life, but that's me personally. So I eventually learned to just do that on my own. Just have my own internal fire, internal motivation to constantly be better today than I was yesterday, even if that's by 0.0000001%. Yuki and Itsuomi have that effect on each other. They want to be better for themselves and for each other. She wants to be able to travel the world with him and then teach him different types of sign languages that he can communicate those type of language, that like sign language across the world, because he's already traveling. So she was motivated to get a job, to pay for that, and then get a I don't remember if she has a passport, to travel with him. And then he's been moving different and wants to be honest about some very specific thing in his past, so that if she can accept that and overcome whatever that hurdle is, they can work out. And I think it's beautiful. I honestly like the anime. What I've seen for the first episode, I think is well voice acted. I think it's well animated. I mean, you don't have to do anything crazy. It's romance. It's not like they fighting and moving at faster than life, multi-universal galaxy plus levels of power and speed. Like, you don't have to do anything like that. But phenomenal cast. I think the story's well told. I really like the clashing of the two worlds. I think the big picture takeaways and the lessons learned are important and things that people can take with them into their real life. And I personally find it very relatable. I think it's a very relatable story, and I love that about it. Let me just kind of mention some other things and characters, and then I'll get into why it quote unquote broke me. You got like Nagy, you got Emma. Emma down bad. Emma needs to, as Moncrel said, like stand up. Like she needs to stand up. EDU a little bit. It's so interesting how EDU and Oshi had this conversation about Itsuomi, because I don't know if anyone's had to ever deal with this, but some friend groups have somebody who's so like good looking or gets so much attention that after a while, other people in the friend group develop this small, implicit, hard to see inferiority complex to them, where they just expect like if a guy approaches, they're going to Michelle. If a girl approaches, they're going to Tyrone, like every single time. I don't know why I said Tyrone. I feel so stupid saying that. They're going to Jimmy. All right, like I've never been that guy in the friend group, but I've known two people who are like that. Like women will just holler at them, blah blah blah, and you actually do tend to like weirdly subconsciously put yourself in a pecking order. I can't say that I've ever done that because I've always done fine, and I always understood which environments I have the most appeal, I suppose. That's like on the football field, by which I mean soccer, like sporting events, track, basketball. The girls like, oh my god, he's so good, oh, he's so cute, oh, so muscular, like my shirt off at the beach. Like I know the places where I can thrive. If we're like in the club, I'm not swaggy, I don't dress well, I'm not a cold approacher in that sense. Like I'm not the one to see a girl I like and be like, unless I got some liquid courage in my body. That's really the only time it's gonna happen. Usually, what happens with me is I fuck off because I probably want to leave. I'm in the corner and someone's like, "Why are you over here by yourself?" And I can close the deal. I may not start it, but I can close the deal. $2 million deal. Universal Studios. Thank you very much. Like I can do that. But I've never really had the courage, and as the world's got a little crazier and a little bit more, I don't know, politically correct, whatever, I'm even more terrified to do it, so I wouldn't do it today. But I really think this is a good cast of characters. There's not one character that I particularly think is like a bad character. I just think Rin is a trash friend. But yeah, there's other relationships going on, and Rin and Yuki together were trying to start their relationships with like, Itsuomi and his I think his cousin. Immediately, like not immediately but together before, like it's kind of cute, like they were trying to like both find romance together, and I like that. And she's a good friend. She's a good friend from the standpoint too of like, oh I see him, like, all right, I'm a duck out, like I'm a head out, like let me do your thing, baby girl. So I could say a lot more. I wish I could remember a lot of very specific details. There was a lot of things. By the way, good artwork, very expressive, vibrant. I like how you could tell a lot by the characters. Oh, there's this one aesthetic detail that I think was really good. I think this is what it is. If someone thinks I'm misinterpreting this, you can tell me. There's a lot of times where Yuki is walking, and I'm pretty sure the text bubbles, but they're like these mushed up squares, are supposed to be onomatopoeia, like chattering, people walking, shoes squeaking on the concrete or the floor, of the school or something. But she can't hear it, so it comes out as these blocky things. Like there's a lot of good attention to detail in the artistry, and you know how I feel about showing and telling. It's a graphic novel, comic book, manga. You need to show me more than you tell me, or at least 50-50, and I think it does a good job doing that. But a lot of great moments. Oh, is she tripping? Utsuomi being like, this is a man thing, don't worry, and just dragging him along and trying to, like, I don't know, saying he's his friend. He's kind of weird too, with like I understand if a guy does not like me because I'm with someone that they care about, and I get that, and I'm not the type to push it or play it. However, there's some faces he's made where it's like, yeah, I know you want her, but it's mine. Like I definitely made that face, but I'm not the one to push it. Cause it's like, I'm not trying to like be like a dickhead and be like, haha, NTR, she's mine, stupid rappers. Oh, I'm gonna take a bitch. Yeah, I don't care about that. That does not make me feel better about myself or whatever. I like her. I can't control that sometimes, and it is what it is. And I'm actually the person, more often than not, if my friend likes the same person as me, I'll hit the step back. So, I'm gonna give it a 8.5 out of 10 for the time being. I didn't talk about the most important part. God damn it, Nia. Jesus Christ, get yourself together, bro. Here's why it broke me. It was too relatable. There was too many things to it that really made me think about my own failures, missteps, mishaps, and the current predicament that I am in my romantic situation or life, whatever you want to call it. And it made me very sad. Like, very sad. Like, I'm not going to be reading it for a while. I'm going to wait till it's done and then I'm going to finish it. Like, I can't read a romance, love related story for the time being, because all it's going to do is make me upset about where I am. I'm a little older than a lot of people, so like, I'm starting to feel that pressure to like find somebody for real kind of soon. I'm trying to figure that out in the next 5 years if I can. On top of the fact that like I actually used to use a lot of romance series like this to live vicariously through them because I was just in situationships and it didn't bother me. But having had what I would argue is the best relationship of my life and a good and true pure love, we're not at odds. We're not at odds. No one put hands on each other or called anyone out their name or anything of the sort. But it just didn't work out. I'm still very hurt by that, even though it's been like 2 years. So this was very hard for me to get through. Like, I really, like, my heart would race, would beat when Oishi was like going through it. I just felt for him. He's the character I think the fan base is way too mean to. Y'all don't really be understanding him. And maybe someday I have to deep dive into why he's a great character. But I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you for listening. I know it's not my usual content. It's not the usual video I make, but this was important for me to do. I like A Sign of Affection. It's really good. Give it a shot if you want to. But again, you know me. I like my romance to have a little bit of chicks in it, a little bit of yitties in it. Be safe. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Patreon gang, appreciate you guys every month as per usual. You guys be paying my bills, helping me get through life every single day. Huge shout out to the CBLs. That's a certified BAM lovers. They be loving BAM, LaBam, James. But a huger shout out to the Priest of Fire. Those are the tier 2s, the certified brothers lovers, and they might be the real CBLs. And the biggest shout out to the 5th Zen God. Shout out to all of my tier 3s. Shout out to I'm in the Gym, Abdel, Childish Nujabes, Fairs, Huey, Johnny Rogers, number 1 mod Catan, Lazy Dragon, Lucky Roo, Naz Riley, Revenant, Scobe, Simi, Tao, Tino Brown, Urek Massino, Wolf General, Zodiac Nemiko, and Zyler Scotty. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you. I got to eat some sugar grass today. Oh yeah, we moving on up, baby.